Today is also election day in New York City, the mayoral election there, of course, hotly anticipated. Zohran Mamdani looking like he has a strong lead here going into election day. But we do have a last-minute intervention in the race from the president of the United States, who is basically threatening New Yorkers to vote for Cuomo and vote against Zohran to avoid his retribution against the city. We can put B4B up on the screen. This is Trump's truth that he put out yesterday evening. He says, if communist candidate Zohran Mamdani wins the election for mayor of New York City, it is highly unlikely that I will be contributing federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home because of the fact that as a communist, this once great city has zero chance of success or even survival. It can only get worse with a communist at the helm. I don't want to send, as president, good money after bad. It is my obligation to run the nation. It is my strong conviction that New York City will be a complete and total economic and social disaster should Mamdani win. His principles have been tested for over 1,000 years and never once have they been successful. I would much rather see a Democrat who has had a record of success win than a communist with no experience and a record of complete and total failure. He was nothing as an assemblyman, ranked at the bottom of the class, and as mayor, potentially, again, the greatest city in the world, he has no chance to bring it back to its former glory. We must also remember this: a vote for Curtis Sliwa, who looks much better without the beret, is a vote for Mamdani. Whether you personally like Andrew Cuomo or not, you really have no choice. You must vote for him and hope he does a fantastic job. He is capable of it. Mamdani is not. So Andrew Cuomo on a local radio show was actually asked about Trump's support for his campaign, and he literally hangs up the phone in response to the question. This is before, guys. Let's take a listen.
Your boy was just on 60 Minutes, Cuomo, saying that you're his guy.
No.
Trump said you're his candidate. If he had to pick a bad Democrat or what did he say? Or a
communist.
Or a communist, he's picking you.
Hello?
I think that they cut him off. I think he had to rap.
You just get, oh. I really wanted to hear that answer. That's what I was going to ask you.
Pretty wild to just hang up, to not have a response to what is an incredibly obvious question that you're going to get asked by anybody, radio or political media in this final stretch. And he also tweeted out yesterday, Andrew Cuomo did, if you want President Trump to try to take over the city, National Guard on streets, choking federal funding, vote for Zohran Mamdani because Trump just said he will be coming and this poser Zohran won't be able to stop him. This is a fact. The next mayor has to be able to get us more, not ensure our demise. I'm the only person in this race who can do that. So basically acting like a mob boss here, like threatening the city. If you don't, Trump saying, if you don't vote the way I want you to, then there's going to be hell to pay. And Cuomo just playing right into that, say, hey, look, Trump's threatening you guys. You're going to just, you gotta go with me, or else there's going to be all these horrific consequences brought to you by the president of the United States in the city.
Yeah, this is the Argentina strategy of telling voters that if you want your money, I actually did not realize this, just looked it up. Some 8.3% of the total New York City federal budget actually relies on federal funds. That is slated to drop to some $7 billion this year because of some pandemic-related stuff, which is winding down. They say, though, that the federal government provides a suite of New York City funding from residents, agencies, nonprofits, public housing, healthcare providers. Over $100 billion in federal funding flows to the city of New York almost every year, which, again, I had no idea. I guess it kind of makes sense. It is the largest city in the country. I guess the question comes down to how these New York City voters are going to respond. I mean, this is one where I have been mystified by the Republican response. It's like they don't understand negative polarization. It's like, you people are not popular in the city of New York. And if anything, by the way, I think they're giving Zohran a lot of cover. Remember when we were always talking about sanctions? One of the things that we could say for Venezuela, for Iran, and for many other opponents of the United States, whenever things go badly, what do they say? It's America's fault because they've sanctioned us. So let's say a lot of the Zohran programs don't work out, fail, and he's not able to accomplish them, which I think is the most modal scenario. Well, in that, what can you be like, oh, it's Trump's fault, right? He can actually resuscitate his own popularity. So if things go to complete shit in the city, which, look, if you cut 8.3% of the budget, let's say you even cut half of that, and you have a significant funding shortfall, and you see problems start to manifest, Republicans will be like, oh, that's on Zohran Mamdani, but he can just easily say, no, that's on Donald Trump, and actually make it so that nobody will ever really know. A lot of Democratic voters in particular will also just say, yeah, Trump is the one who declared war on him. So I think they're actually saving him politically, making it so that there's no real test of anything that he's going to be actually, able to do, and they're handing him like some great gift. In particular, also just politically, like Stephen Miller, endorsed Andrew Cuomo yesterday. How, in what world do you think that is politically smart, right? Like, if you wanted Cuomo to win, I would do something along the lines of saying, I'm the most scared of Andrew Cuomo, right? I would make it so that, because you want people who don't like you to negatively polarize and actually vote for the person who is perceived as your biggest enemy. I just don't get it.
I mean, the thing is here, there's nothing Trump can do to change New Yorkers' minds at this point. I mean, if he'd stayed quiet, that would probably be a little better for Cuomo, but it's not like that was going to rescue him. Yes. He tried to intervene and get Curtis Lewa out of the race, all the billionaires. I mean, it was wild to watch all of these billionaires just out in the open, like, we cannot accept the Democratic result here. We must intervene. We will spend whatever it takes to make sure that our guy is propped up and becomes mayor of New York City. And ultimately, I mean, look, the votes aren't cast yet. The votes aren't in yet, so we don't want to be too premature here. But certainly looks like all of those efforts were for naught. I mean, it does bear remarking on how insane and how truly, like, unprecedented it is for the president of the United States to threaten a city with consequences. All the New Yorkers are like, we're not talking about threatening Zohran. I think Saagar's right that in some ways this will be beneficial to Zohran and his popularity in the city. You're not threatening Zohran. You are threatening the lives and the livelihoods of New York City residents. These are people you are supposed to, as president of the United States, you are supposed to represent them. A lot of them voted for you, right? You didn't win the city of New York, but you actually did better than previous Republicans had in the past. Zohran launched his campaign going out and talking to residents who were saying, yeah, I voted for Trump because I thought that he would do better on the economy. I thought he'd bring cost of living down, et cetera. I mean, that informed a lot of how Zohran actually structured his campaign. So not only do you have Trump threatening the city, you have Andy Ogles and some other Republican representatives in the House threatening to try to keep Zohran from taking office, saying there's some 14th Amendment way that could allow Congress to block New Yorkers from being able to pick the candidate of their choice. You have Randy Fine and others who are threatening to denaturalize him and deport him to Uganda, again, just because they don't like him and they don't like his politics. And a lot of this comes down to Israel, by the way. Certainly for Randy Fine, it comes down to Israel. Just complete and utter insanity. Like, New Yorkers are allowed to elect the mayor that they want to elect, and they shouldn't be faced with retribution from the president of the United States. So completely wild. I think you're right even on the political impact short term. I lived in New York for 5 years. I have a little bit of I'm married to not a New York City resident, but a New Yorker. So I have a sense of the New York vibe. And they're going to say, fuck you. Like, you don't want me to vote for Zohran? I'm voting for him even harder now. Like, I'm showing up early to vote for this guy, and again, and twice on Sunday. They are going to do whatever they can to tell Trump, like, screw you. You don't get to mess in the affairs of our city. So it's grotesque the way this guy operates. And it is truly a break from the way we've seen anyone. I mean, I can't think of a single, historical precedent for, like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to threaten to withdraw funding and send in likely federal mass agents into your streets to wreak havoc and cause chaos if you don't vote the way that I want you to vote. Well, I don't think that's
a Zohran thing. I think that we're going to do that regardless. But, in terms of, I'm trying to think, I guess Ford telling the city to drop dead, that was in the 1970s. That was more of a budget.
He wasn't going to rescue them from bankruptcy.
It was like a bailout thing. Yeah, it was like, honestly, I have to rack my brain. It's been a while. It's not exactly usually said this explicitly, although I guess it does technically take some precedence. I mean, look, I just continue to sit on the politics of it. I just think it's incredibly stupid because I think one of the things is, as you and I know, New York City is going to be one of the most closely watched places in the entire country now for any signs of potential failure. But if you give them the excuse that it's because the feds screwed it up, I mean, that's basically on you. On the point about ICE ICE and all that, though. I mean, don't you think they've already been doing ICE raids in New York City? Like, I don't know why it would be any potentially different. They did it in Chicago. They did it in Los Angeles. They've done Seattle. I mean, there's a recent one here in Houston. I mean, I don't think that really has much to do with Zohran. I mean, maybe, you know, and potentially to invite a fight with NYPD and his own political commissionership. But I mean, that one I would say is probably more to the benefit of the Republicans, at least politically, to pick a fight there. So I don't know. I don't know how this is all going to work out. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.